another video on my channel. In today's video, I'm going to obviously be setting up Metamora in a new upgraded enclosure from Zen Habitats. So what's really exciting is that this is actually a new product that I've never used before, and it is brand new on their website, and it is the Meridian enclosures. So basically what Meridian is the exact same enclosure, only it's easier to assemble. So they have this in the 4x2x2 wood and PVC. They also have 4x2x16, and they have two of the stands. They're gonna have more Meridian options available as time goes on. They're in the works currently. So yeah, this is my first time setting one up, and I decided to upgrade Metamora because she was in a 2x2x2 before, and she is very, very active at nighttime. So I just wanted to give her more space. So it is the perfect opportunity. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are like, why would you put an arboreal snake in a 4x2x2? Why wouldn't you go taller? And the reason for that is that green tree pythons, they are arboreal, yes, but they actually utilize horizontal space more than vertical space. So you can give them both, but ideally the best thing to do would be to give them more horizontal space. And it makes complete sense after like owning one and seeing how she is at nighttime, because she is sideways through the entire enclosure and just utilizes all the space. So she's gonna have double the amount of space now, and I'm super excited to get this upgrade going. So I'm gonna show you guys the process and how it goes for me, because this is gonna be my first time ever working with Meridian, and I'm so excited to get started. So yeah, I'm just gonna give you guys my honest review. If you guys have any Zen Habitats questions, leave them in the comment section below. I will gladly help you guys out. And please check out their website. And if you do choose to shop, I would love if you use my affiliate link, which is in my description. Anytime you shop using that link, I will make a small commission, and I really, really do appreciate that. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get straight into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. All right guys, so we're gonna start setting up this Zen Habitats Meridian enclosure. This is my first time ever seeing one in person and doing this. So I'm really excited, and excuse the mess. My living room is like a total disaster right now, and it is so dark out because the sun goes down. So the lighting situation is not the best, but we're gonna work with it and see how this goes. So I just took everything out of the box, and so far the only difference I see is that there is no small parts box. So this is what I'm looking at. It says acrylic over here because everyone always says, oh my gosh, my doors didn't come with it. And it's because the doors are covered in brown paper that you have to peel off. So I'm gonna just undo these straps and we'll take a look at everything else that's here. All right guys, so I'm already noticing a couple of really cool things. So I'm going to show you. So here are some of the other parts. This is the humidity shield, and we have the substrate shield, and then we had a small parts. Instead of a box, it's actually folded into it. So these are all the small parts for the enclosure. And behind these two things, we have the two side panels. And then we have the acrylic doors. And then we also have these two door wraps for the doors. And what's really nice is before, these used to be packaged in like a frame, and some people had these getting stuck in there. So I think that this packaging was way better. And what I really like about this packaging is that everything, all of the panels, as you can see, are in the frame already. So that was before, like with the original version, you have to put all of the panels into the frames. And what happens is when we ship them, sometimes the corners of the panels would get damaged during shipping. But I can already see that like this is not going to be an issue, and this is going to prevent a lot of damage when they're shipping because all of the corners are fully secured and protected. And the packaging was so well done. And then this is the main like bulk part of the enclosure that's already put together. And this is so cool. So you lift it up. This is obviously the top screen. You lift it up and half the enclosure is like done. So all you have to do is put in the side panels and screw them into place and then put the doors in, and your enclosure is already done. And the way that this folds up is just so cool, and the packaging was done so well. So this is like the easiest job ever. I'm like so excited. Because I'm going to be doing the panels and the backgrounds, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just lay out the 2 side panels and start doing the backgrounds on them right away, and then be sure to like leave space. I mean, before I was kind of eyeballing it and like doing it a couple inches in, but now you can like see where the frame is gonna be, which is also a bonus when you're doing a background. So that's really cool. So then I'm just going to lay this one out on the side. So it's actually going to be this side. So I'm gonna lay this out and start doing the background on this side. Just gotta make sure you do like the right side. And then obviously like there's a hole there, and you have the small parts box. I mean, it's not a box. This is technically just not a bag, it's a bubble wrap. I'm gonna need my scissors to get this open. So here's a little glimpse of the items in the small parts box. Obviously we have some screws, we have some double-sided tape for when you put in the substrate shield. There's glue for the door wraps. This little sheet, some people are like, why don't you guys have instructions? This little sheet always directs you to our website. That way you can see the written instructions as well as how to assemble it. But this one is like so easy. Like, I'm so excited. It also comes with a cool little sticker. But we have the wire grommet and the solid plug. Because this is for a green tree python, we're gonna go with the solid plug, that way she doesn't escape. So as I'm setting this up, I did notice one thing. So this was actually slid, I can't get it back out. This was slid out a little bit, so there was like space in between this panel and this, and then all I did was literally push this in. You can still see a little bit of space. It's kind of like a two-handed thing, but it pushes right in. I can't do this with one hand. But you'll notice that there is this bar here, and I was like, is that right? Is this supposed to be pushed in? Like, I wasn't sure. And it totally makes sense because that is where the other side panel goes, and it leaves room for that to fit in. And then my other thing that I was like, okay, well, how am I gonna figure out which side to actually put the background in? Because I don't want to accidentally put a background on the side, like on the outside of the enclosure. So I'm looking at the parts right here, and it's super easy to navigate and look at because, as you can see, this side has 2 channels and none of the other sides have that. And this is for the doors. So this is going to be on this side of the enclosure, and these are the 2 channels for the doors. So now I know that I can put the background on this side. So I just wanted to share that for anyone that could potentially be doing their own background. That way you aren't putting it on the wrong side, because that would really suck. And I don't want anyone to go through that. So then obviously this one has the door channels on the opposite side because it's gonna go on this side of the enclosure. So yeah, just thought I would share that. And now I'm gonna pretty much just get to spray foaming. So you guys, I have to share literally the best part about this enclosure. I terrorize my poor dog Chacho here every single time I build these enclosures because he hates the bashing of the corners. And he's just kind of chilling out here and checking things out. He's still a little nervous because he knows when I'm doing stuff in here, he expects it to be loud. And if he starts hearing that banging, he like runs out of here. Chacho, Chichi. But now my dog doesn't have to deal with that anymore because everything just folds and is quiet. And I'm sure my neighbors appreciate it too. Chichi, come here. Come here. Come here. Everyone wants to see you. Come here. So yeah, now my dog is just gonna be way happier. So that is a major selling point so far for Meridian, because now Chacho will be a little happier.
Jack it up.
So it is the next day and I've waited 24 hours, so all of the spray foam has solidified and expanded. So I set everything up. All I had to do was literally set the panel into place and then pull the screen over the top of it. I didn't put any of the screws in just yet because I'm gonna be taking them out again. I put them in because what I'm trying to figure out now is how I want to display all of my branches and still make them removable. So what I'm thinking is I chose these 2. One of these is the 36 inch and then one is 24. And I want these to be the two main center basking areas. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to actually use a guitar string. It's what I did with Dude's Enclosure too, for like hanging his lighting up. So I'm gonna use that, and I'm going to hang these two in the center through the screen using the guitar strings. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have this one like here. It's kind of hard to tell with how I'm holding it. And then have the other one like a little bit lower down, but hanging from the screen. And then I have another 36-inch and another 24-inch. And these two I want to put on the sides. So what I'm gonna do is try to have it like something like this, connecting from one side to the other. But what I need to do is figure out like the placement and then carve out in the foam a little nook in order to hold the stick into place. That way I can put the stick in when I want it and then still be able to pull it out to make it removable. That way if she goes on any of those branches and I need to take her out for some reason, I'll be able to do that still. So hopefully I'll be able to figure this out and make sure that they work. This one's really long. I don't know if that'll fit. So I'm gonna try and figure this out now, and then once I get those nooks carved out for the placement, then I can just take the panels out again and recarve everything down and start siliconing. So I just carved out this first wall. It was actually easier to do just keeping it in place. And as you can see, the branch is still staying in place and it will be removable. I have this little nook here that this tucks into, and then it just kind of sits right there, and then it's still steady, and then I can literally take the branch out. Like if she's on it for some reason and I need to take her out, I can just lift the whole branch out, which will just make things so much easier, and it just looks really cool. So now I'm going to do the same exact thing with the other side. All right, now it is finally time to start siliconing. So again, I'm going to be using black silicone. I mentioned it in my video where I went over all my supplies. So this is the black silicone. This is from joshsfrogs.com, and it is safe for reptiles and amphibians. So I have that. That was really loud. And then I have my gloves, which I'm definitely going to be needing for silicone. I'm going to be spreading the silicone on all of the foam. And then I'm going to be adding Josh's Frogs bio bedding on top of it and pushing down, giving it some pressure just so that way it sticks. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I just have to do that for these 3 panels and then allow that to dry for 24 hours. Alright guys, little update. I put the enclosure together. It was very, very easy to do. I had a little bit of an issue with like lining it up, but like once you just start messing around with it, you just kind of realize like it is super easy. So my one little issue took like a little bit to figure out, and then I got it and everything just like fit perfectly. And putting the screws in was so easy to do and satisfying. So after I set that up, I put in the substrate shield, which comes with every single enclosure, and it allows 6 inches of substrate. I'm just now realizing that my turtle tank is so loud. I'm very sorry. So then after putting the substrate shield in, I put in those 2 branches that I talked about earlier that are easily, like, you can take them in and out of the enclosure, but it should be stable enough for her to climb on and perch on. I'm sure she's gonna knock them over. She literally knocks the ones over that she has now, so like, it's gonna happen. But then I put in this top branch that is hanging with guitar strings. So I use guitar strings to hold up Dude's UVB, and they're really durable and it works really, really great. So I decided that that's what I'm gonna go with for Metamora's enclosure. That way this branch can be removable. So if she's perched on here, I can easily just take it out of this and then pull the whole branch out. So what I did was I tied the guitar strings at the top, used wire cutters to make them short, and then just taped around everything just to make sure that there aren't going to be any wires that stick through the bottom of the screen. That way it's safe for her. And then yeah, just hung the branch. So now it's just like a floating branch through the center, and that's going to be hopefully her main basking area branch. And hopefully she'll use it. I'm kind of worried because this is something new that I'm trying, so I have no idea. And then now I just have my fake plants that I get to put into the background, especially to cover that white spot that was not siliconed properly. So yeah, now I just get to go over and do the fun part and just shove these into the foam. Little update, everything is pretty much done. I put all of the live plants in, and obviously the substrate and isopods and springtails and all that good stuff. So I did decide to add one more branch in because this is like hanging, it can be pretty swingy. So I put this other branch in just to keep this one a little bit more stable so it doesn't swing around as much. And then I shoved it into the spray foam so she can climb on this one as well. So it's just another branch for her to be able to explore and settle on if she wants to. And then of course that one is removable. I could literally just pull it out of the wall and it's good to go. So now I just have to put the doors on and then it's pretty much done. I have her water bowl still in her current enclosure with her, and I'm going to move that out last minute when I move her, and then put her in the enclosure and you guys can see it all together with her in it.
Jack it up.
Alright guys, so the enclosure is done and this is now my view in my bedroom, and I am completely obsessed with it. So I'm just gonna run through and basically talk about everything that I did. So you can basically, actually it's kind of hard to see because I have this little like ramp here, but it does look a little bit different than the original line of Zen Habitat's enclosures. But it was just so easy to put together, like, and I was able to do this so quickly and so quietly, and it was just so nice. I love how it's folded up and packaged. Like, Meridian is so amazing. So these are my door wraps that I have on the center. And let's just take a look in here. So obviously you guys saw me making the background, and I showed you guys all of my supplies. So I have some live plants all along the front here, and then all of the plants that are in the background are fake plants that I got from Michael's, and they're all plastic because I never recommend using a fabric type of plant when you're using a really high humidity enclosure, just because they get gross over time and they hold on to bacteria, so you obviously don't want that. So these are just a really great option that are easy for cleaning, and they look really good, and obviously shoving it into the foam is just so easy. I guarantee she's going to knock a lot of these out of the background because Metamora is probably my most active snake, especially at nighttime. So I'm preparing for a lot of those to just fall out, but that's okay. At least they're in there for now, and hopefully some of them will hold up. I'm sure she's gonna be knocking some of these branches out too, because as I mentioned, they are removable. They're just sitting in the little nooks, and it's really great because like you can put weight on it and push down on it. Everything is stable. I don't want to disturb her too much because she's settled in. As you can see, she settled in on her old pole, her bamboo stick from her previous enclosure. I just put it in there so that way she could climb onto her other branches, but I think that she likes the old one a little bit more. She has a little bit of like shed stuck to the pole. She shed literally right before I put her in the new enclosure and ate, so she was like ready to go. It was perfect timing. Now that I have everything in here, I think the jungle wood might be a little bit too curvy for her, and she may not like basking on that. So once she gets off of this one, she's like coiled around it. Eventually I'm gonna like reset this one in here, that way she can just have that bamboo perch as well, because I think it's a good size for her and she obviously likes it, and it's just straight and a little bit more comfortable for her. But everything else is holding up really good. She's on the branch that kind of goes forward as well as this one, so I don't know, it worked out pretty well. She's sleeping right now. I'm not sure where her head is, but I'll try and get some footage of her being active in her new enclosure tonight. But yeah, the one other thing I didn't show was obviously I gave her a water bowl, so that's in the center. Should help keep the humidity up. She has her UVB and her heat bulb, so she is set. I'm really hoping that the plants will live in this enclosure, and hopefully she doesn't destroy it too much. Her old enclosure, she would just completely destroy and like pull plants out and things. So like I said, she's a very, very active snake, especially at night, which is another reason I just wanted to give her way more space. And this is just a mansion for her. So I can't wait to see her utilizing it, and hopefully I'll get a lot of footage for you guys to see that as well. But yeah, this is the final enclosure. I absolutely love how it turned out. This was so much fun to make, and again, just so simple. I highly recommend Meridian for anyone that wants an enclosure that they can just, if you want to disassemble it ever, like the other enclosures, the original line is very, very hard to disassemble. Not gonna lie, I never disassemble mine. But if you're someone that moves or whatever situation you're in, if you need to take your enclosure down and like pack it up, this is so easy to do that with. So highly recommend Meridian for anyone that wants to do that, or just for anyone that doesn't like building things and wants to get this done quick. This was like such a quick process for me. The only time consuming thing was just making the background, because I like the naturalistic backgrounds. And by the way, Zen is going to be offering their own naturalistic backgrounds in the future as well. So stay tuned for that, because I know a lot of you guys don't want to put the time and effort into making them, because it is a lot of work, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, the enclosure is bioactive. I added springtails and isopods. There's some leaf litter, some moss, and then the Josh's Frogs bio bedding. So that's pretty much everything. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I will get to them in the comment section. But I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this build as much as I enjoyed making it. Yeah, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Please check out zenhabitats.com. Their link is in my description. If you do shop using that link in particular, it is my affiliate link, and I will make a small commission, so I really do appreciate when you guys use that link. But definitely check out Zen Habitats. If you guys have any questions about them or their enclosures, feel free to ask me. I work customer service there, so I know all there is to know. So I will gladly answer all of your questions. And I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you all have a great day today.
Jack it up.